A couple of episodes ago, I made the fertility idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now that one was just 3D printed and gold leaf. I thought this time, let's do something that's made out of real metal. So we're going to make the headpiece to the Staff of Ra. And we're going to make it out of brass. So first thing, I just got a 3D print off of the internet. I'll put the link down in the description so you can see it. But I printed it off. It's a two-part print. The brass that I'm going to use is going to come from these leftover bullet casings. In order to cast molten metal, the first thing we need to do is build a flask. So I'm going to build the frame of the flask out of wood. So I'm going to cut some 1x1s to size. So the flask is going to have two sides. I want the inner space to be a 6-inch square. So I'm just using the boards that I've cut so far to figure out the diameter of the outer sides. Once I've got those all cut, they fit together and form the 6-inch square in the middle. And you can see the 3D print fits nicely in the middle. So we'll just screw this together. And now we've got the two sides. To make sure that the sides don't come apart, we're going to put some elbow brackets on the sides that we can screw together. And that'll keep it closed. We need to make sure that the top and the bottom line up. So I'm going to use 3 pieces of scrap to make a registration system. 2 of these will be connected to the bottom and 1 will be connected to the top. And they will just slot right into each other and make sure that they're always lined up correctly. There's all kinds of fancy names for all of the parts of the mold that you make when you do sand casting. The frame itself is called the flask, and the top part is called the cope, and the bottom part is called the drag. Now that I've got those all connected, you can see that it lines right back up every time. Now it's time to fill it with sand. And we do that by turning over one of the pieces upside down and putting it flush on the ground. Oh no. The way that I built the registration doesn't allow me to put the side all the way down on the ground. I guess we'll have to fix that. Just cut off the ends that poke out over the edge. For this, I'll just use an old-fashioned handsaw. There's enough of the registration squares still on the frame that I'll still be able to register it just fine. It's flush, so that allows me to turn it upside down and put it on the ground. Okay, I need one other piece before we fill it with sand. A lot of times when you make castings in a mold, you have to use some kind of mold release. A lot of times that's some kind of like silicone spray or something, but when you're dealing with sand, you can't use a spray like that. So So what we're going to use instead is chalk dust. A lot of people use the kind of chalk dust that rock climbers might use, but I don't have any of that handy, so I'm just going to make my own. Now we're really ready to fill it with sand. I'm going to put a board down on my table. This will just make it a little bit easier to clean up. Then we put one side of the frame face down on the board, and we position the first half of our 3D print. Now, to make sure that I can get the mold out of the sand, I'm going to now cover it with a light dusting of the chalk dust that we made. I make sure to use my soft brush to scrape out any chunks of chalk that might be in any of the details. And now it's time to just start putting in the sand. This isn't regular sand. This sand is called Petrobond. It's a really fine sand that has a kind of oil in it that helps it stick together really well. You'll see that it starts out pretty stuck together, and I have to kind of crumble it back up. And what we want to do is we want to get this sand in extremely tight. So after overfilling it, I then use a hammer and actually hammer it down into place. And this packs it super tight so that it will keep its shape. I use a board to scrape off everything that extends over the top so we have a nice flat back. And now we're going to turn it over. We can see the mold release worked because the 3D print didn't come with it. It actually fell out. That's a little bit of a problem, but not terrible. If I'm real careful, I can just place the 3D print right back where it belongs. And we need that print still in there because we have to do the other side now. So I'm going to put a little tiny dot of hot glue, and then I'll place the other side of the 3D print. Now we'll put the cope on top of the drag, line it all up, and I'm going to screw it together so that as we hammer the sand, it doesn't force the cope up off of the drag. We want to make sure that these things stay touching perfectly. Now another dusting of chalk dust so that we can release it really well. And once again, we fill the top half with the Petrobond sand. As we lift off the cope, we can see now that we've got a nice mold on the inside. And now it's time to go ahead and remove the 3D print. So now we have this impression on both sides of the sand, but we have to have a way to get the molten metal down into it. So now I'm going to carve what we call the sprue. And I'm just using a piece of copper pipe. And I'm going to use it like a cookie cutter to cut down into the sand. Now the second hole that I'm making here is the vent. And now I'm just going to carve a channel. This is connecting the sprue and the vent to our mold. This again is for the molten metal to travel down through the sprue hole into the vent, or into the mold, and then out the vent. And I want to put a little bit of a dent in the drag that lines up with this. So I line them up, use my pipes, and just kind of gently push down in to mark where those spaces are. And now I'm just going to carve those out by hand. And I'm going to carve the channel also on this side. I want to make as much room as I can for the liquid metal to travel. So now we're going to place the mold together and we're going to screw it down tight. One thing you can do to help the flow of the liquid metal is to raise the sprue hole up a little bit higher than the rest of the mold. I'm going to do that with this piece of steel pipe. I'm just going to fill it with Petrobond sand, hammer it down just like in the mold, and then to make it easier I'm going to carve it out so that it's like a funnel. This will make it easier for me to hit my target when I'm pouring it in. And now I'm just going to eyeball it and line it up with the sprue hole that I already created. Alright, we're ready to start melting our brass. So I'm going to fill up my crucible with all of this used brass. So here, after heating it for a bit, I'm going to scrape away the dross at the top. So this is all of the impurities and dirt, anything that was in the brass that raises to the top. We'll add more casings. And I'll have to do this 2 or 3 more times until I get a full crucible. Now I just want to point out here, now we've got all of our brass melted. Scrape the dross away and it's time for the pour. I'd hoped to see it rise up out of the vent, but it didn't. So I'm pouring some down in the vent to hopefully connect it through on the other side. That's not a great sign that the vent popped right up and there's nothing connected to it. Now I've let it cool down just enough. It's still hundreds of degrees. If I were to touch this, I would get burned. So I've got my water here. It actually looks pretty good. And now, using my angle grinder, I'm just going to cut off the sprues, the sprue in the vent. And then I'm going to use a wire brush to polish it up a bit. I'm really actually trying to take off the burnt sand that's around it. And then I can decide to polish it when I'm done. As I was brushing this off, I realized that I really like the patina that's on this brass. It has kind of a bronze feeling to it. And so I'm not going to actually polish this. I'm going to leave it with this awesome patina on it. So there it is. And it's not a perfect casting. You can see there's a lot of pieces missing. The bird's head that's supposed to hold the gem basically did not come through at all. And along one edge you can see that the metal didn't get into the whole edge, so it's a little bit of an unfinished shape. But other than that, it actually looks really neat. And I have to tell you, I'm so excited for how this turned out. Now, I could just melt this down and try to do it again, and I'd probably get a better result. But I think I'm going to keep this as it is, because I really love it, even with its imperfections. The main reason this didn't work is because I didn't actually let it heat up to a high enough temperature. Sure, the brass was melted, but it cooled very, very quickly. And so ideally, I would heat it up another 100 degrees or more before pouring it. And that would let it stay liquid for a longer time, and it would fill in all of the extra gaps. And one day I'll do that. One day I will try it again. But for now, this is what I've got, and I really loved making it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Until next time, don't be bored, be creative.